she looked at me and she kind of rolled her eyes, and I'm like, no, it's bad. I'm like, we're like at blood level here. And she's like ignoring me. And this old man, bless his heart, walked over and he's like, son, come over here and let me talk to you. So I walk over to him and I'm like,
it's a problem.
1, 2, 3, 4.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to episode 110 of the On the Runs podcast. We are coming to you virtual late on Monday, Memorial Day. Erica, 6-star Erica, what's up?
Still can't get used to that. How are you, man? I just got done with a wonderfully relaxing Memorial Day weekend. I had a nice 4-day weekend. Thank you to my boss who gave us Friday off as well. And I gotta say, I did like literally nothing this weekend, and it was wonderful. So.
I hate you. I hate you.
All I did was clean because we're gonna have some house guests later on in the month. But
yes, that's all I did too. Clean, prep, whatever. Maybe I beat you. I kind of had a 5-day weekend. At least I worked from home on Thursday and Friday.
That's nice.
So how much did I really work? I did work. Thursday was busy. It was my boss jinxed us, actually.
How come?
Because I dropped the kids off and everything, and I think I went and ran 1 or 2 quick errands. And as I'm pulling into the driveway, I got an email, and it's like, hey, Eric, can you really help me out with this thing? And at the same time, my boss sends me a text, and goes, you can tell no one's working and everyone has already gone into long weekend mode because there's no email traffic. And all of a sudden, it just blew up. There were problems, fires we had to put out and everything.
Oh,
and
no.
Him and I are talking. We're like, I'll handle this, you handle that. And it's like, I'm like, Andrew, you jinxed us, you son of a bee.
How rude.
Oh, don't.
Totally putting a damper on the beginning of your long weekend.
I mean, he did it at like 10:30 in the morning. I'm like, dude, it's only 10:30. You just ruined the day. Thankfully, Friday was better. But,
that's
dude,
good.
All I did was like mow the lawn, clean the living room, clean the kitchen. Now I got to go back to the living room. We have this like seasonal porch. It's not really good for like hanging out in. It could be, but it's not.
Okay.
It becomes just like a drop zone.
Oh.
And my goal was to tackle it this weekend, and I put 0 dents into it. 0. I tackle this thing once a month, and it's great for like a week and a half. And
that's always the case, yeah.
But like today's Monday, I did a ton. We went to my parents, and I got the camper ready. It takes hours.
I saw you pressure washing the outside of it. Brandon just bought one for our car, so that's going to be our
pressure
new
washer
too.
You need to make sure.
We have the right attachments. Yeah.
Well,
so
no, the attachments. You need to make sure you put the attachment all the way in and get it secure, and do a test like test it one time. So it doesn't go
flying off of it.
Well, it goes flying, but you don't want to have it go flying into your windshield.
Oh my God! Wouldn't that just? That would figure, but. We will do our due diligence.
Those things are sick. Like you get the little Sobe hookup to it too. Oh, it's awesome. Yep. Like you just so much more enjoy cleaning your own cars and stuff or whatever when you have a pressure washer. It's like, I'm going to take out the pressure washer today. I'm going to pressure wash my driveway. Who cleans their driveway? Like you do when you get a pressure washer.
Right. You see the amount of pollen and stuff that comes out now. And now that I have a black car, oh my God, it's disgusting. In the morning, it's just like a film, and you're like, oops, like, ugh, I can't stand it. So I'm gonna love washing my car.
There was so much I wanted to do this weekend, cleaning wise, organizing. Like, oh my God, I'm looking at another basket of clean laundry. Still haven't gotten to it.
I did laundry. I did all the laundry. I actually folded it and put it away. I mean, I bought myself a shredder because I have so many like just bills from like forever ago that I don't even need anymore. Like statements for, I don't even know, just crap. I have a lot of crap that I've just put into like a drawer, and I've been trying to shred all that crap.
Yeah.
I really need to have like a bonfire.
Let's do it. Let's do a big let's do it when we record.
We can do that. I have a solo stove, and we can all talk Oh my God, we can talk around a fire like you always say.
Guys,
It's like
we're
talking around
recording in a couple weeks from Erica's house. We're pre-recording some episodes because we're taking a few weeks off during Erica's birthday, her 100-mile or 4th of July, right? So we're pre-recording some stuff, and we're doing it her dream episode with beers outside, hanging out. Some friends are going to come. Maybe one or two more. You can come and just like feed us beer. Or do you guys want to? Does somebody want to come and take content?
I'm not getting drunk though, because it will be on a Monday, and that does not bode well.
We'll
for
do
the
it
rest
early
of the
on
week.
a Monday.
Well, still, I don't want to have more than like 2.
Two.
Gotta be responsible,
maybe
man.
22. Come on, we're not going to see each other for 3. We just talked about this. We're going to like not talk for 3 straight weeks.
We won't talk in the pod for 3 straight weeks. There's no way I could go that long without talking to you.
Oh. Well, and a lot of things are going to happen in that time. Like you're going to do your 100-miler. I'm running Mount Washington.
Oh my God, I have a month. Oh, now that I think of it, I have like exactly a month. When
you ready?
When this is dropping. I mean, I'm as ready as I'm going to be. This week, I literally didn't run at all just because this week coming up, like the last week in May, early June weekend, it's like my peak week. I have 50 miles to run between Saturday and Sunday. So I'm doing myself like that Yeti 24-hour challenge again. So that's
the
gonna
one
get
that
me
you
ready.
were total BIT on a couple years ago when I tried to do it with you.
But now I'm more used to it. It's going to help me get used to being tired again, and I'm going to put a lot of miles on the legs. So this weekend I took it totally easy, and I mean it's all downhill after next week. It's taper time to taper.
You're going to go crazy. She did this
Yeti
thing, guys. Before we did the pod, she did this Yeti thing, and on her second stint of like what you had to do 5 in 24 hours, I ran with her, and Shauna did, and Shauna and I just ran away because.
Well, you took me on a trail. I was like, I'm not feeling this. I'm much better at it now.
Yeah, it's good because we have friends, trail friends, like who we're gonna get to soon. The Trail Trash Podcast.
Psyched about that.
Well, let me tell you, I asked you if you were ready for your 100-miler. I thought I was ready for Mount Washington.
You had yourself a fun run up the one mountain this weekend. Which one did you do?
Monadnock. I've been running up and down McIntyre. I've been doing intervals up and down McIntyre. I've been crushing it. And then I go to Uncanunic or whatever it is. Everyone's going to make fun of me.
You said it right that time. Nope.
Did I?
You said it right. Uncanunic.
Yes, me. Yes. Go me. Uncanunic. Yes. Oh, my God. Guys, I'm sorry, but I got it. You can't make fun of me anymore. Ha ha, na 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 boo boo. I can talk.
Let's put a bet. What's the next word you're gonna mess up?
Probably the mountain Pack Monadnock.
Okay, keep going.
I went to Pack Monadnock in Peterborough early Sunday morning. I asked a few friends to come again this time. One showed up, a new friend. First time I really got to meet her and run with her, Sammy. We've met with Sammy a few times at races. We do the little fist bump. And by the way, remember, those are out now. Fist bumps, they're out. We'll talk about that later. Smack. We're going to make some Super Bowl commercials next year, guys. It's going to be a lot of fun. I thought I was really prepped. And maybe I didn't warm up properly. Maybe I should have warmed up because I got there earlier than Sammy did. We just went at it like right away.
Oh, wow.
We just went and... Holy cow, that is a steep, hard mountain. It is the same length as Uncanunic.
Really?
But it's a bitch.
So what are we talking grade-wise? Like, what's Pack Monadnock versus Uncanunic?
I don't know what it is, but there's a list you can find for cycling, and it shows like all the hill climbs, like the hardest ones in the state. Pack Monadnock
what are you just
is
picking
number
all
6.
Those? Oh shit!
I want to run them all though. That's how much fun I'm having. I want to run them all. And so, of course, Mount Washington's number 1. I think Pack Monadnock was a little steeper in sections. Mount Washington is going to be brutal, but it's going to be a lot of fun. Let me tell you, there was so much walking, and thank God, like, I don't know if you know Sammy, but she could have just ran up that whole thing, sprinted up probably, right? Yeah. She stuck with me. We went up and down 3 times. Did you hear that?
I did.
Holy cow, that was loud.
What was that?
A firework.
Oh, from here it just sounded like something like your phone went like on the desk or something. No, it sounded like a gun. Wow.
That made me jump. Wow.
I did hear it.
That stayed in the pod. Anyways, Pack Monadnock was brutal, but it was more fun with the new friend. she made some comment like, do you know we talked the entire time running up and down that like conversational pace or whatever? And let me tell you, Sammy got the full Eric experience. There goes more fireworks. I don't know if you can hear him. She got the full Eric experience, like just talk, you know. Thankfully, she talked at points too. She could tell I was out of breath and I needed to catch it.
Good,
Man,
good.
it was fun.
That's the perfect friend where you like you could just tell like, oh, I gotta fill some silence here. Maybe I'll do the work.
Yeah, he's getting out of breath. I need to talk now. And then when she gets out of breath, I talk. Yeah, it was perfect. There is this one super steep section at the end, and I was just like, you go. I know you want to tackle this, and I'll see you at the top. It's like the last 100 yards. Oof. And I did like a run walk up it, and she just ran up the whole thing. Like she's killed it. She could probably win the race.
I really do envy you guys. I don't have that power. I can go long. I can't go steep.
I am loving this, and I already know I want to do it next year because I want to keep doing hill workouts, and I want to see like, okay, how much can I improve?
Nobody's stopping you from doing hill workouts.
I'm going for it. If anyone has a bib, because I got lucky this year with the lottery, I want to go for it because I want to see how much I can improve in a year and how much weight I can lose. Let me tell you this, actually, because I went to the Red Sox game. I had a thought, an epiphany, what's an epiphany?
Epiphany?
Do you know
what is like a thought? Like it's like the grand thought.
So occasionally I've been saying on the pod and just to people like, oh, you know, I'm a fatty now. I got my moobs, right? And they shake up and down, and I got my belly, and I used to have a 6-pack or whatever. I used to be in wicked good shape. Mm-hmm. I still fit in a t-shirt that's like 16 years old. You have the same one. It's the green Red Sox t-shirt from Plymouth State. I wore it to the Red Sox game. Yeah. And damn, I'm proud I still fit in that thing.
Good for you, dude.
We're walking down like after the game or something. I'm like, I've had this t-shirt a long time.
Didn't you have like a whole, like an album that you used to take pictures of it everywhere?
I still have it. If you go to Facebook, you can find an album of me in this t-shirt. Because what does it say on the back of the t-shirt, Erica?
Isn't it wicked awesome?
Wicked awesome.
Wicked awesome.
So I'd go somewhere that's wicked awesome. I would take the shirt and I would take pictures of me in it, like in Victory Lane at a NASCAR race when we won, or in front of this epic mountain range, or in a football stadium or a baseball stadium. I would take pictures everywhere just of me. The camera would be behind me looking at my booty, look at my big booty mix, whatever. And it would have wicked awesome. And then the view, like I'm looking at the view. It was great. One of my favorites is at like Bristol Motor Speedway in Tennessee. And that's a perfect transition because we have on today from Tennessee, the Trail Trash Podcast.
I don't know if you guys got a chance to listen to us on their podcast the other day, but we kind of did a dual recording with Garrett and Jason that day, and they are just two of the coolest dudes we've met, and I really need to sign up for Strolling Gym now.
Strolling Gym. A couple people heard that. A couple people did listen because they made the comment to you like, Erica, you got to do the Strolling Gym. So I think it's a perfect time to get to Garrett and Jason from the Trail Trash Podcast. There's actually 3. There's another guy named John. He couldn't make it. I think he had another. John's like the big trail runner, does these big epic races. So he missed him. We'll have to talk to him later. But we have Garrett and Jason. Guys, enjoy, and we'll see you in the outro.
Our next guests on the pod are 2 endurance junkies from the Southeast. They run 1 mile at a time in some crazy ultras that might involve chapstick or tights. They're both girl dads who find time to get away for adventures with the boys in the shaggin' wagon. They're the co-hosts of the Trail Trash Podcast, and we're wicked excited to welcome Garrett and Jason to the On the Runs podcast. What's up, fellas?
What's up?
Dude, I feel like Superman's about to enter the room.
Yes!
Yeah. Man. Can we go back on ours and redo ours? No.
Well, we are so excited to have you guys
in a single bound. I'm like, no, I can't.
We are so happy to have you guys on our podcast now. So now we get to flip the table and ask you guys all the questions.
Yeah, we just collabed. We just recorded with you guys. So we're our voices are warmed up. We're ready to go.
There you go.
You guys just learned about all of us, and we want to learn about all of you. So I said the Southeast. You guys, Tennessee, right? Like in the Nashville area, or was it Bristol?
No, it's Nashville. We're in a town called Murfreesboro, which is about 30 to 45 minutes going east of Nashville, kind of southeast. That's actually how I met Garrett. Garrett used to live here in Murfreesboro. We kind of met up at a running group here in the city of Murfreesboro. Get this, Garrett, I just learned something 2 days ago. Murfreesboro is going to be passing Chattanooga pretty soon in population, which
doesn't surprise me.
Which is wild, because this town is literally used to be a sleepy college town, and now it's just blown up. So,
yeah, but it's the biggest college in the state, if I'm not mistaken, in terms of number of students.
It is the largest college in the state.
Yeah. So he's in Murfreesboro, and I'm about 35 minutes away in Spring Hill, which is basically straight down 65 from Nashville. If you go from Nashville all the way down to the Gulf Coast, you're going to drive right through 2 exits for Spring Hill, which is incredibly annoying, making it trying to get out of town. So, yeah.
I was in Nashville just a year ago. I had to go for work, but I didn't actually spend any time there. I flew into Nashville, spent the night, drove super early in the morning to Huntsville, Alabama, did some work, drove back to Nashville, and had like a 6 a.m. flight out of there. I was going to go downtown Broadway by myself, have a grand old time, swing, do some line dancing, whatever. But it was downpouring, and I just said, oh, whatever, I'm going to edit the podcast. This was a while ago. But
the only thing you missed was some bachelorette parties on some sprocket rockets or whatever they're called. So
no.
Hold on. What's a sprocket rocket? I'm thinking mechanical bull.
No. So there are these. A sprocket rocket is only one of them. There's a bunch of them in town now, but it's basically like a pedal tavern. So yep.
So fun.
Yep.
Sign me up.
So not only do you get to drink, you get to work for your beer. So
burning calories,
yeah.
You get to have more. There you go.
Yeah, because that makes so much sense. Let's sweat and then drink, because that's a recipe for fun times.
Oh, I can only imagine in the humidity that you guys were telling us on your podcast that you guys get. So maybe not the best idea.
Nope. I'm sure there's some great stories about people falling off sprocket rockets and pedal taverns. And
do they make you wear seatbelts? I feel like they should.
No.
They do not.
Probably a good idea.
They do not.
They don't?
South.
Oh, man.
No
Helmets?
way.
Hold on real quick.
Definitely no helmet.
99% of these are all females on them. 99%, and they're all singing and dancing, and there's usually some annoying guy driving it. So,
okay. So it would appeal more to me than, say, you guys. All right, fair enough.
I mentioned one other thing about the two of you guys. You're both girl dads. Like, I think between the two of you, you have 5 girls.
I got 4 of them.
Wild.
4 of them.
Absolutely. You have 4 girls. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
How is that, man? How is life living under your roof?
Well, it used to be really chaotic. They're all grown now. And I always tell the story that they're much easier younger than they are older. That's one thing in parenting that you really don't learn until you get to those later stages, when you kind of, when they're young, you can tell them whatever you want, and they're going to believe you, even if they, because they're so easily manipulated. And then once they get older, then you lose all manipulation, and then they start manipulating you, and then it becomes a game of back and forth. But chaotic. I had 2 in band, and then my youngest was a varsity cheerleader. My other daughter from my new marriage, because I adopted her, so she actually sang in the choir. So yeah, we were always running around at some sort of concert, football game, basketball game, choir concert. And then of course there's always some sort of drama with somebody talking shit about the other one in the house, because girls like to talk shit about each other, especially when there's a whole bunch of them. And so, yeah, it's just constant fun.
Sounds familiar. I don't have kids, but I have a sister, so I know I was involved. I know.
And I think I was blessed with just one girl. I can handle just one.
Right. And Jason and I are at different ends of the spectrum, because I've got my daughter who's 5. And so we're getting ready to enter the phase of, what do we have on the calendar this week? And we've got this, and my schedule and my wife's schedule. And we both have outside jobs outside of our main jobs. And then how do we incorporate? Yeah, I'm getting into the fray of everything that Jason's just getting out of.
I might be wrong, but do one of you work in a ski shop?
Used to. That was me.
Used
to. Yeah. So now I picked up another part-time job at Fleet Feet, because I love talking about running. I love running. It's become such a central part of my life that we've got our podcast that we do together, and it's 99% of my conversations are, "Hey Garrett, how far did you run today?" Ho ho ho! I don't even drive my car that far. You know?
You gotta love those
So,
comments.
Why would you run when you can drive and smoke at the same time, as Patrick Lieber would say, right?
Exactly.
I got the book right there. I'll go grab it.
As I'm so excited you mentioned, you dropped the word running. We are a running podcast. You have a running podcast. You, the three of you, do some epic shit. You've done Yeti Ultras. You've done trail races. One of you has never even run on pavement. You just do nothing but ultras. So let's get into that. Let's start with Jason. Jason, let's start with from the beginning. Let's start, you're born, you're a little kid, you're growing up. Are you running? Are you playing sports? And then how did you get into ultra marathons?
I played basketball, junior pro basketball. I was short and very
He's
skinny.
5'6".
I'm not 5'6", you
You
asshole.
can still ball.
5'10". Garrett is the short one, by the way. Look at the pictures. So I was really short and I was ultra thin, but I liked to play basketball and I could shoot very well. So I played basketball for a while. Then I hurt my knee and I started playing tennis. I played varsity tennis for a long time. Got married, had the 3 kids, got divorced, and I've never really been a big guy. I've always been kind of smaller, but I was big for my small size, if that makes sense. And so I married my current wife, who worked out. And I was sitting downstairs eating some Doritos, watching something on TV, and she was upstairs working out. And I'm sitting there, and you have a moment where you're like, what am I doing? She's up there working out. I'm sitting on my ass eating a bag of Doritos. And I'm like, I want to start doing something. And of course, I have no friends because I kind of lost all my friends from when I married my ex-wife. It's very complicated. From when I was with my ex-wife. And so
spare no details.
Well, I was in a
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
I mean, the bottom line was I was in a controlling relationship and I lost all my friends. So I got divorced and I didn't have those friends anymore. And so I was like, what do you do when you don't have any friends and you have nowhere to go? You run. And so I was like, you know what? I'm going to run. And so I started running like a mile here, a mile there. And then a coworker of mine was like, hey, we're going to get a whole bunch of people up and run a half marathon. So my dumb ass was like, how far is a half marathon? No idea. The guy goes, only 13 miles. So I'm thinking in my head, 13 is a relatively small number. And I'm like, it can't be that bad. So I was like, sign me up. And so I did what everybody does. I got the Hal Higdon training plan and I hammered down and I ran my first half marathon. And then from there, I did it socially for a little bit, just running the same half marathon over and over again. And then I moved straight on to the marathon, which was the Rock and Roll Nashville, still my only road marathon to this day. Fuck that race. Somebody literally died at it last weekend, and I shit you not.
No.
Yes, they died at it.
It's
in a place where I literally saw somebody fall out when I ran the race. So it's a very tough race. But anyway, for a road race. Ran that race, and then I got involved with a buddy who became my best friend, and he kind of introduced me to a running group in town, and he was like, get involved with these people, they're really cool. And so they started running ultras, and they're like, why don't you run an ultra? And so again, my dumb ass was like, what is an ultra? And they're like, oh, it's only 31 miles. It's a 50K, and it's only 5 more miles than the marathon. And so you're thinking in your head, 5 is a relatively small number, smaller than 13. How hard can it really be? And so they're like, sign up for the Yamacraw 50K. And so the Yamacraw 50K is on one of the most scenic courses in all of Tennessee / Kentucky. Garrett's nodding his head. He knows very well. He's very familiar with the course. So I signed up for it. And then they're like, oh, you got to run Strolling Jim. And I'm like, what's Strolling Jim? They're like, it's the most epic road race in the state of Tennessee and one of the oldest ultra marathons in the United States. And at the time, they're like, and Laz is the race director. And I had no idea who that guy was. I mean, they showed me a picture of him. It was like some old man who looked homeless. I'm like, all right, sure. And so prior to that, I'd heard of the Yeti trail races, but I had ran the Yeti Nightmare, which was an 11-mile trail race down in Atlanta, Georgia, which was around Sweetwater State Park. And at the time, that was when Sean Blanton and Jason Green were a partnership that did that race. And so somebody was like, this is a cool experience, but you really need to get the full Yeti experience. You got to run a Jason Green race. And I'm like, okay, what is that? And they're like, sign up for the Yeti 50. So I'm like, all right, screw it. So my first ultra was I did the Yamacraw 50K in April. 30 days later, I ran the Strolling Gym 42 miler. And then 30 days later, I ran the Yeti 50 miler, all in like a 90-day span. So that's kind of how I got into ultras. And from that point on, I just continued running them all kind of in the Southeast. So,
what year did you say this was that you started those, at least the ultras?
Oh, gosh, I can't even remember. I'm that old. See, I started running. I think my first half marathon was in 2014. So it would have had to have been at least 3 years. So probably 2017.
Okay.
I feel like it was.
That's a legit progression. You just kind of went balls to the wall and off you went.
When you're ignorant, it makes all the difference of all of it. So
agreed.
I was going to say it was probably 17 or 18 because you and I met. I think you and I met on Facebook. And it wasn't the cows; it was the Monday Misfits group. And then you're like, "Hey, I'm running it this time on this day," and I was like, "Cool, I'll be there." He did not know that I am always late. So just story of my life. I'm always running late or running. So, but I forget. I think you were getting ready for the 50, or maybe it was the first time you ran Yeti, which the Yeti 100. So it would have been 17 or 18 if I had to guess. So.
Yeah, but truly, what I'm famous for is that damn Yeti 100 race because I have successfully DNF'd it 4 times.
We'll get there.
I'm excited to dig in because I know you have a lot of tips for me. And yeah, we gotta talk. So Garrett, we got to jump into your history now. I mean, Jason just spilled his whole spiel. So how did you get into ultra running? What did you do growing up? Give us all the details.
So I'm from Southern Indiana, small town, Southern Indiana. And I had 2 best friends growing up, and one was a livestock farmer and one was a crop farmer. And I was at one of their 2 houses, or being from Indiana, everybody plays basketball. Or I was playing basketball in my backyard. But my mom played college basketball. My dad was really good at basketball. So I was like, you know what? I got to find a sport that's uniquely me because I don't want to live in their shadow. So I picked soccer because that made sense. And my parents knew nothing about it. So perfect. We're all going to learn this together. Ended up playing it all the way through college. Played it at a small school back in Indiana. And you'd think, oh, he's a college player or he's a soccer player. He must love running. No, I hated running. When it was conditioning day, I'm like, nope, I pulled a hamstring, coach. I got to go do something. My toes acting up. Something. But I was never fast. So it was almost like a sort of imposter syndrome. Like all these guys are faster than me. I'm kind of bringing it up. The joke was Garrett's like a train. It takes a long time to get to top speed. And when he does, just get out the way. Kind of this bowling ball kind of player. So I was always the strongest on the team. So I always had a spot because you need someone that's just kind of the brawn of the operation, I guess. But then I graduated college and kind of still stayed on the. Yeah, thanks, dude. It was so. Yeah, I will never go back and do my college. I guess what was it? Not an exit exam. My finals for my college in order to graduate were all verbal. Senior exit exam or something like that. It was all verbal. So you sat there with the whole department in class, I guess not class, all the instructors, professors, that's the word I'm looking for. And they're just firing off these questions and you got to answer them and you got to score X number of percent. Like it was brutal.
That's stressful.
You pay for that.
I know. I paid for that. I also pay for these races. And so maybe I'm just a glutton for punishment, I guess.
Well, you're in good company, that's for sure.
Right? So. But so I wanted to get as big as I could because my coach in college was he was an old school guy and he was like, no, soccer players are supposed to be slim and fit and quick. And I'm like, no, that's not what science shows. Like we need to go to the weight room because it does A, B, and C and all these things. Mm-hmm. So I got as big as I could, muscular wise, and which then when I got married turned into big as I could fat wise. And then we got pregnant and I still hated running, but diapers are expensive. Gym memberships are expensive. one of these has to go, and it can't be diapers. So I thought, great, let's just start running. All you need is a pair of shoes, shorts, a shirt, and you go.
Cheap
Had no
sport.
idea what I was doing. Like,
Yeah.
didn't know
Yeah.
Not
about
expensive
Cheap
at all.
sport.
yeah. I was like, cool. This is like, and shoes will last you for forever because on the farm, boots last you forever. So it's like, cool. I didn't know that shoes only last like roughly 400 to 500 miles. Had no clue. And now here I am. You know, I kind of took the logical progression. I did a 5K, did a 10K. No, I've actually never done a 10K. I did a 5K, a 15K, which is a very odd distance. Why not just round up the extra half a mile and make it 10 miles? Never raced a road or trail half. Never raced a road marathon. Just kind of skipped it and went right to a 50K. Did a trail marathon. Did a 50K. And kind of got looped into my first 100K. A buddy of mine that I played college soccer with has a sister who used to live in Arizona. He said, hey, there's this race out there. I want to go run this. Like, do you want to go run with me? And it was like, kind of like Jason, how far is 100K? He's like 62 miles. I'm very much one of those people that if you say I can't do something, I will show you that I can. So he said, I bet you can't do it. I'm like, challenge accepted.
Watch
Hold my beer
me.
kind of thing.
Yep.
Yeah. So he ended up not even going. Like, he didn't even go run the race. I went out there by myself.
Oh,
and I was
wow.
like, dude, your sister was supposed to pick us up from the airport. We were supposed to stay at your sister's house. Like, now I got to fend for myself and figure out all this stuff. I
Oh,
walked around
man.
Phoenix for a day because I didn't have, like, kind of felt homeless.
Oh,
Did my first 100K, and I've been hooked ever since.
that's quite an interesting story with your
So-
100K. I can't believe, well, at least you could rub it in a little bit. Like, well, yeah, I did it and you didn't. So boom. Like,
And I did it without your sister's help, too. Like,
exactly.
so,
Wow.
the best part about that wasn't even the race. I stayed the first night, the Airbnb I was in, I didn't know if I was going to make it out alive. Because I'm pretty sure I have seen it in an episode of CSI or one of those Law and Order type
no.
shows. I stayed in a shipping container
I thought
that had a bed
you.
and
I
a fridge
thought that
and a
was you.
TV.
I would have
So
seen it and been like, right, immediately just turned around and said, nope.
Wait,
Nope.
didn't you like see the pictures on Airbnb.com or something?
did.
Or
I did.
Yeah?
I was like, you know what? This could be cool. Like, it was kind of a commune kind of thing. So, like, he basically took the shipping container and put it in his backyard and rented out just the shipping container. So you could stay in the house, and you shared the bathroom and the kitchen with the house and the shipping container. So there were two people that I had no clue who they were. One was in the other one, and they didn't know each other.
Oh, wow.
They were each. It was very much a hostile kind of
Mm.
thing, like a European hostel, not hostile kind of thing.
so the three random strangers slept together in a shipping container.
Well, no, they had the bedrooms. I had booked the shipping container because it was like $40 for the night. So
Did it have a bed inside?
had a
What
bed,
el- what
a
else did it
fridge.
have? What
Had a bed, a fridge, a TV, air conditioning, power.
Whoa!
Privacy.
Yeah, but I was like, man,
Yeah.
He's
Actually,
going to show up in the middle of the night, and I'm going to hear a lock on this. And I ain't getting out.
oh, man.
Yep, that's kind of
I'll
how
bet
it
you
was. Not my
squeal
best
like
night
a
of sleep.
pig.
So, kind of how it
That
felt.
was Tennessee, right? Deliverance?
Was it Tennessee or Georgia?
It was
I don't
Georgia.
remember.
It was Georgia. I
Might be
believe.
Georgia.
It was Georgia.
Once you get to a certain point in Tennessee, it becomes Georgia, and
Yeah.
they all kind of just go together.
That's the eastern side, right? Southeastern, like Chattanooga over that way, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and when you drive to Chattanooga from here, you actually go down into Alabama, go into Georgia, come back up to Tennessee, go back down, and then you come up, and it's whoever designed the map or the roads has no business being a city planner.
That's incredible.
Well, I don't know where to go. Let's just go. Jason, chapstick and tights. Tell me about this.
So this would be your Code Brown moment. so
Jumping right in. Yes.
This is my favorite story he tells.
So
Yeah.
again, Will, I'm going to use Will a lot because Will is my buddy, and Will is very opinionated. And so I'm going down the mountain mist, and I need some running tights. And I'm talking to Will, and I'm like, I need some running tights. And he's like, so he immediately shoots off about 3 different brands of running tights that works for him. And so I get to REI. I go to REI and I pick, and I'm like, okay, what works for me? And so North Face has always been a tried and true brand for me. Okay, so I go in and I look and I find a pair, some really nice North Face running tights. They're very expensive. They look nice. I put them on. They fit. I walk out the store with them. I wake up and I go down the Run Mountain Mist. It's very, very cold. It's like, I don't know, it's like probably in the mid 20s because the race is in January and it's in Huntsville and it's just a super cold race. And so, anyway, I put the tights on and I'm running, and the race is going actually very well for me. I'm not having any issues whatsoever. And then I get about 12 miles, 13 miles in. It's a 50K, by the way. And I start feeling, a little bit of discomfort down low. And
Harris is just
so,
laughing. I love this.
and so I go in and I have my pack, and I'm a very prepared person. I'm a manager by trade, so I'm very organized and I always have a plan. And so I open my Solomon pack where I have my bag of all my trusty stuff is, and everything is there but lubrication products. And so the area that I was having problems was the old Johnson area. So I'm going up this huge climb and it is hurting like terribly, and it's getting progressively worse. So I'm asking everybody I'm walking by, I'm like, do you have anything whatsoever? Vaseline packs, anything. And so I run by a lady and I'm like, do you have any sort of stuff? And she pulls out a tube of chapstick and is like, would you like to use this? And I'm like, first off, I was like offended. I'm like, how small do you think it is here? I mean, come on, cut me some slack here. And so the run became a walk. The walk became a hobble. And I get into the 22-mile aid station of a 50K. And that race doesn't get hard until after 22 miles. The last
oh
the
no.
last 9 miles are like hard ass miles. And so I knew what was ahead of me. And I was like, there is no way I'm going to be able to finish this race. And so I go to the lady at the counter and I'm like, I'm hurt. I've got some issues. And she's like, what's wrong? And I'm like, my dick is chapped. And she's like, she looked at me and she kind of rolled her eyes and I'm like, no, it's bad. I'm like, we're like at blood level here. And she's like ignoring me. And this old man, bless his heart, walked over and he's like, son, come over here and let me talk to you. So I walk over to him and I'm like, he's like, what's going on? And I'm like, my dick is severely chapped. I'm like, I can't walk very well. I'm like, it's high level, like we're at like the blood level. And he said,
it's a problem.
He's like, I'll give you a ride back to the starting line, because they were going to make me wait. The lady was going to make me wait. And so he gave me a ride back, and the entire time back, he was like, you did the right thing. He goes, you would have been in bad shape if you would have continued on. So yeah, I DNF'd because of a chapped dick. So code brown is make sure you bring the Body Glide.
That is a code brown. Holy
you were
shit.
freeballing in a brand new pair of tights?
Yes.
Do you normally wear tights, and would you normally wear underwear with it, or are you just
no,
I don't know. I don't know how it works as a dude.
No, I free ball in a pair of tights, but normally, and you're going to laugh at this, the tights that I wear are like $10 Old Navy tights. So the moral to the story is $10 Old Navy tights will not chap your dick, but $120 North Face tights will. So, yeah.
Expensive isn't always better.
And so I text my friend Will and Garrett and John, and Will was like, you didn't listen to me, you asshole. You should have bought the Under Armour tights that I told you to buy, and you wouldn't have had these problems. But the real problem was I didn't bring my squirrel's nut butter. So there you go.
So you got to tell me, what essentials do you normally pack in your Solomon pack? if Body Glide or Squirrel Nut Butter isn't one of them.
Chapstick.
It is. The funny,
It just didn't make it in there that
no,
day.
well, so what I did was I threw a packable jacket in the bag and had forgotten that I had taken my bag of supplies out. And so when I lifted the bag, it felt similar to the weight. And then I came home from the race, and lo and behold, in the closet was my bag of supplies, which is like the space blanket, and there's these like this cream you can get. It's used for like incontinence in nursing homes, and it's like a barrier ointment, and I've got like 10 packs of that stuff. And if I'd have had that, I would have been straight
Would have
money.
been good to go.
I would have been good to go, but I didn't have it. So yeah. So I didn't finish.
Lesson learned.
Lesson learned.
How long were you out for?
How long was I? What?
Oh, the healing process for the
No,
for dick chafe. I don't know.
I was so.
What's the recovery time on a dick chafe?
For me.
Wait, are we talking about running? Or are we talking about?
We're talking about it all. We were down for the count for probably about 4 days. A good 4 days. Because I mean, like, it's one of those things where you pull back your shorts and you look down and you're like, oh no, because it's like I had never had anything that severe happen before of that magnitude. Because like when you're a guy, and obviously Erica doesn't understand, but Eric and Garrett, you understand, things happen down there from time to time. You may get a little irritated. Something may rub the wrong way, but like you never have anything like, it doesn't look, hold on. It doesn't look like this red. Okay.
Put your pants back on.
I'm just like, where is he going with this?
So anyway, it was really bad. And then I had to come on the podcast and tell people what happened. But
that's good though. Transparency. You're open and honest. Like that is.
I'm just
key.
like cringing over how bad that shower must have been that night. I am prone to chafing, and I chafe like inner thigh area, just not junk, I guess.
I'm cringing right now.
I know
just
how
thinking about
terrible it feels when you have to shower after that, and that is I am so sorry.
Yeah, it was. Let me tell you, I turned the water on and it hit, and it hurt so bad. I opened my mouth for something to come out, and there was nothing but like a small squeal. And my wife walked in, and she we have a really big shower. We have a super big shower, and she how bad is it? She opened the door and she's like, oh. And then closed the door and just like walked off. And that's when like that it's at a really bad level. When she just looks
I can't help you.
Yeah, she just is like, sorry, I'm done with this situation. You're on your own.
Oh,
so yeah,
that's awful.
Have you guys ever seen the movie Heavyweights with Ben Stiller at the fat camp?
Mm-hmm.
Instantly, I'm thinking of the scene where the kid is in love with the hot nurse. And he walks by the bush of poison ivy, and he's like, I'm going to take off all my clothes and jump in this poison ivy bush and then go visit the nurse.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Bad
that
idea.
is an all-time classic Code Brown story. And I don't know if it will ever be topped. Wow.
That's my favorite
we gotta
story.
throw it to Garrett and see what his not necessarily have to be a Code Brown, but what about a very memorable ultra that you've had?
So we'll go back to my lone DNF so far, and it's kind of Code Brown-esque. It came out the other direction, so
It counts.
Code yellow,
Code green,
Code green,
whatever color bile is. I don't know. So
okay,
yeah. So it was No Business 100 2 years ago, and I'm familiar with the product that they use. They use Sword on their races, which is very similar to Scratch. Malt seduction based, chemical makeup's about the same amount of sodium, calories, all that good stuff. So I'm coming into aid stations and saying, what flavor Sword do you have? and they're saying, well, it's a mixture. And Sword makes some good flavors, but they're interesting, like apple and all these other flavors that you don't typically hear about.
Gotcha.
You typically hear about your orange and your lemonade and or lemon lime and grape and all those normal flavors. They have some oddball flavors.
Yeah.
So you're getting a mixture of like pineapple, mango, and apple and orange, and I'm like, as long as you don't say grape, I'm good. I'll drink it. But so I would just fill up my Solomon flask and head on down the trail. And there's a great picture. We talk about it all the time on our podcast from actually, he's probably, we'll call him a friend of the show, Pete Schreiner. If you ever have the pleasure of having a picture taken by Pete Schreiner, it's going to be a great picture. It's one of my favorite pictures that I have in total.
Mm-hmm.
And he takes this picture and I'm exhaling because at this point in the race, which is mile 42, I can tell that something's not right, but I don't know which way it's going.
Oh,
and I don't know
no.
exactly what it is, so I don't know how to fight it. Like I don't know, like how can I get ahead of this?
Mm-hmm. Tums, Imodium, where do
Yeah,
where do
I don't know because
Yeah.
like it's just like brewing, bubbling.
Oh, no.
Double toil and trouble kind of thing. Felt like the Sanderson sisters were in my stomach. But so we end up going down the trail, and at this point, I had said, you know what? I don't need a pacer for this bit because there was only one aid station that my crew could have got to me at anyway. So it's like, I'll just meet you guys. And it happens to be a 50K stretch. So it's like, just go back to the Airbnb, sleep what you can. I'll meet you guys at mile 60. And all of a sudden, I just start getting sick in the middle of the trail. And I'm like, okay, figured it out. Awesome. But Tums isn't working. Nothing's working. And I get to an aid station, which is only about 4 miles from where I'm supposed to see my wife and my pacer at this point. And I end up falling asleep for like an hour, just like, let's just see if sleep will help this. And it doesn't. Like I would take a bite of, in no business, all of the aid stations there are top notch. This aid station had gnocchi and some other things like supreme foods.
That's fancy.
And like, this sounds like it may help. It's good. And I would take a bite. And 5 seconds later, it's coming right back up. Like water is not even staying down at this point in the race. And so I look at the aid station people, and it's like 11 o'clock at night at this point. I'm like, I'm done. Like, I can't stop getting sick. You guys don't have anything that could even help. I mean, you have Tums and stuff, but at that point, Tums isn't going to do it.
You can't keep water down. How are you going to keep Tums down? And it's a vicious cycle.
So the guy's like, well, you're just going to have to hang out. It's going to be about 2-3 hours. I'm like, well, if it's going to be 3 hours, I may as well just walk to the next aid station. It's only 4 miles away. At least my wife's there.
Yeah.
And you're not going to get drug off into the jungle that is the middle of nowhere, Tennessee. And so I walk, and I was supposed to be there. We were looking at kind of when we planned it out, I was supposed to be there around 10:30, 11 o'clock, something like that. I get there at almost 3 o'clock in the morning.
Oh.
My wife is waiting for 4 hours at this point with our other co-host, John. And John's a very quiet person, and my wife is not. So I'm sure that car was relatively awkward. Or my wife does not like quiet situations, and John just is. If you know John, he'll talk to you. But if you don't, then he'll be kind of quiet, which is fine. So my wife's mad at me. I come into this aid station. She's like, "Fuck, were you?
Never
took
a
too
good
long.
thing.
I didn't know if you were alive or dead." And so where no business is, it's very rural. There is no cell service for this 50K stretch. You go down into some gorges, and it's just, So even if I could figure out how to work a phone in my state that I was, I wouldn't have been able to text her anyway. So John looks at me, and some other people had let the doctor know, hey, there's a really sick dude walking in. So I walk in, and the doctor's like, hey, are you the sick guy? I'm like, what gave that away? The fact that I look like I belong in ICU, or like my face is all sunken in at this point? John actually took a great picture of it where I look like I look bad.
Oh,
I
no.
look bad. The doctor gave me some Zofran, and my wife is very good at saying what she thinks needs to be heard.
Mm-hmm.
And at this same race, the year I finished it, she said something, and I'll never forget it. I came into mile 82, and I looked bad. And long story short, she said, there's a 3-year-old girl at home who expects her daddy to finish. I don't know what you need to do, but you need to figure it out and get it done.
Mm-hmm.
So got out of the chair, finished that race. She comes up and she says, hey, Larkin expects. I go, Larkin's not going to fucking help right now. Like,
Oh no.
it's like this is not a willpower thing. This is I cannot eat anything. I can't keep anything down. The last time I kept something down was over 5 hours ago. I'm so calorie depleted, and I'm sitting in this chair, and John looks at me. He comes over and he goes, "Hey, we can do this. But if you want to do it, it's going to be the hardest thing you've ever done, and we got to go now. But the ball's in your court, kid." And he kind of stood up and walked away. I'm like, God, can't disappoint my pacer. He's got a race coming up soon. This is supposed to be a long run weekend for him. I got to at least give him 6 miles. So I get up out of the chair. The doctor's like, "Are you going?" I'm like, "I got to. I have to."
Did
So
the
he gives me this
Zofran help you at all?
It did. So it calmed everything down, but I still wasn't hungry. So I'm munching on this oatmeal pancake that they made special for me.
Oatmeal.
Yeah, sorry.
Thank you, Erica.
Oatmeal.
I tried.
Oatmeal pancake. And it
Yeah.
tasted fine, but I just, like I said, I wasn't hungry. So we go out, we do this little 6-mile loop. We come back and we're walking in and John says, "Hey, what's the call?" I said, "John, there's no point going on. Like, we're 2 minutes ahead of cutoff at this point. 2 minutes. So that's not an exaggeration." And I was like, "There's no point going on." So he goes, "All right." So he goes over, he starts picking at the aid station. My wife comes over and she says, "What's the call?" And I just start crying. I'm like, "I'm sorry. Like, I drug you out here for nothing. Like, I can't do this. Everything hurts, but I'll see you at the next aid station. John, let's go." And he goes, "The fuck, we're doing this?" "Oh, okay." Grabs all this stuff and he walks out, and so, but we were so far behind, and you can't do 100 miles at 26-minute miles. And that's the pace that we were going.
Yeah.
And so we were just kind of hanging out, talking. We come into mile 72, 12 minutes too late, and it is what it is. So my code brown is, while I am eternally grateful for aid station volunteers, here's what I think happened. I would come in and say, "What is this? What's the flavor that you got?" And they'd say, "It's this, this, this." And I would just treat it like it was a normal scratch single serve, 100 calories, X number, 1,000 milligrams of sodium. But I think what they were doing was they would empty the cooler, or not empty the cooler. They would fill it with water and treat it like it was an empty cooler, which is throwing off all the sodium that I thought was in there. So I had too much electrolyte, too much salt. Hindsight, take your stuff with you. Grab your chapstick, grab your scratch single serves, and just take it with you. Don't rely on aid stations. They're nice. I will always and forever be thankful to volunteers, but don't rely on them.
That's smart. That is a good idea. But oh man, that is a rough night.
It was bad. Like, my stomach hurt. Like, my ab muscles hurt because of the dry heaving that I was doing.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
Was that your only DNF, you said?
So far.
So far. There could be more.
I mean, there's a lot of things that could go right and a lot of things that could go wrong in 100 miles. So far, it is, yes.
We didn't get into depth on your podcast about, like, our stories, like about my Ironman or about her races she's done. But one thing I've done is I've researched what's at that aid station. And I know it sounds like maybe you did too. But when I did my big Ironman, I knew what Gatorade they were going to have at those aid stations. And I love pulling from them because then I didn't have to carry it. And so that's kind of, I like to pull from the aid stations, but I try to figure out.
Let him be a cautious tale for you.
I try to figure out what they have, but now you got me thinking like, oh crap, I don't want that to happen to me.
Just rely on their quesadillas.
Right? Oh, I bet those are amazing during ultras. So I've never done the ultras. Like, Doozer always talks about the quesadillas and the burritos, and just everyone loves that they can eat real food and snacks at these ultras.
I'll tell you one thing, actually 2 things that saved me during my 100 was they made little hummus wraps. And I'm not a big hummus person, but I grabbed one. I think I was going for the avocado wrap, but grabbed a hummus. And I was like, this is the most delicious thing I've had all day. Let's go. So I grabbed like a bunch and I went. And then there was an aid station, I think Taylor's Valley. They had a grill and they were making sliders. So I had these little sliders. They put extra salt on them and mustard only. And it was like a pick-me-up that I've never felt before. Like, I went from -2 to like an 8. And I was like, this is great. I think I can go. I think I can move to the next station. So the real food that they have at some of these aid stations are like game-changing.
I told you that I had that part-time job at Fleet Feet, and the running joke in the store, I've only been there for 2 weeks, but the running joke in the store is Garrett's talking about his 3 a.m. quesadilla again. I'm like, yeah, because it's literally life-changing.
Don't even know you guys.
Like, you can see all that. You can go and have hallucinogenic visions, and you don't even have to do drugs to do them. You just go run for 30 hours, and you start seeing things.
Yep.
incredible.
You might run into a rock that you think is a pet fox. You know, you see some crazy shit. Garrett, I've noticed I went creep in. I looked at your ultra sign up. You went 50K, 100K. Then you did 24 hours, and then you went 50 miles, 100 miles. So what's next? 200 miles?
I don't think I'm going to do... Right now, I don't think I'm going to do anything longer than 100 mile for a long time. I don't know if the 200 mile is in the cards for me. Mainly because we've talked about Larkin. And on our show, we talked about how it's essentially a second job to do these. The amount of training that I could only imagine goes into a 200-mile race, I would feel incredibly guilty leaving all of that behind to go run for 5 hours a Saturday and then 5 more hours on a Sunday. Now, Larkin, when she was smaller, when she was 3 and 4, she would ride along in a jogging stroller with me. So there were times where she would get to go with me, and those are great memories that I have. We would play games where I'd be like, "Hey, Larkin, let's see how many red trucks we can find today, or let's count the Jeeps that we can see on the road." So but now she's too big. She's going to be 6. That's 45 pounds in a jogging stroller. I don't know if I want to push that for 3 hours.
Try twins.
Workout.
Try twins up Mount Washington. Right?
I totally, dude, I get it. Like, that's where I'm at. I just want to stick in half marathon shape as long as I can, stay steady and consistent with that. Maybe ramp it up to a marathon, but I don't have an Ironman in me anytime soon. Not that I don't want to. I don't have the time. I don't have the time to commit to that training. I do too many other things like cheerleading practice and tumbling and dance that I don't actually do. I just go to. Here's my advice for upcoming dads. I think kids' sports are amazing, like team sports. I love it. Like if they want to play baseball or ice hockey or something, it's great. But I go skiing with my daughter, and I started taking the boys this year. That's so much fun because I get to ski too. And when we go biking, I get to bike too. And we go camping. I know camping's not a sport, could be. But when we go camping, we go do things like hiking and all that. And I get to do it too. And I'm not standing on the sidelines. And that's the best part. And they'll play team sports and it's good. It's good for them. But I'm all for those skiing and hiking and running or biking and just those fun things that you can do with your kids and create those memories versus watching on the sideline, probably with your phone out like this the whole time, recorded them. Let's go, Johnny. Come on, shoot the puck. No, you're doing it right. You're a young dad. You got a young girl. You're doing it right. I applaud you for that. And I'm the same way. I know you're really big into all that fatherhood stuff too. And you've tried to build a hashtag running fatherhood stuff in the past, and you're a dog dad too, so that dog looks awesome.
Yeah, we have 2, and he likes to come in and say, "Hey," so
what's
Did he
up,
break
bud?
the door down?
Well, if the door's not latched,
oh, okay.
He thinks that if we're in here, if I'm in here, he needs to be in here. Like he's my boy, so. Yeah, so he just assumes that dad's in there. I got to be in there. And normally
I just see him come flying right in.
He likes to lay right here most of the time, and he'll sit there for a while and just hang out and be quiet. But so
that's fun.
Yeah, we have 2 German short-haired pointers. So.
All right, so the two of you kind of dabbled in how you met. You met on Facebook. That's pretty much how everyone meets today on the internet, right? Tell me the birth of Trail Trash Podcast, and if you have to go back to how you met and how you came up with this concept and your podcast and everything, give me the story of the pod.
So I had one previously by myself, and I got tired of doing it by myself because it was a big job. And I was very fortunate because I got to meet I got to meet Jeff Browning, who is has ran a ton of 100-milers. I don't know how familiar you are with ultra runners, but I had him on. I had a whole bunch of really pretty established ultra runners on, but like I just really was just like tired of like the grind of like doing it all by myself, so I stopped it.
Mm-hmm.
And
Okay.
I mean, Garrett and I one day somehow we started talking about we should create a podcast, right? Garrett, you can take over.
Yeah, I was going to say, you had your channel first, and then one day I don't remember what, because we had a group chat with the four of us. It's me, Jason, John, and Will. And I just text Jason on the side. I said, hey, I think we should do a podcast. Like, we say some really stupid shit that's really funny. We should make a podcast out of this. And Jason was like, yeah, I've kind of been thinking about doing it myself. And at the time, I always feel bad because they always do this fitness challenge at work. And it always seems to fall right when I'm getting ready for my 100 milers. And so I'm like, you guys have no chance. So one of
Is it like a step challenge?
it's a time challenge. So you can work out for 8 hours a day, but it's not necessarily working out because it's also mental health and all these things. So I listen to podcasts at work. Well, podcasts count so long as they're fitness or all these other things. So
there you go.
I'm like, great, y'all are chumps, man.
Going
I'm running
down.
2 hours in the morning before work. I come and listen to podcasts for 4 hours. I listen to another one on the way home. I got this in the bag. And one of the things that was on the rewards list for whoever won was a podcast recording kit. This is like, yeah, dude, I'm thinking about like, I'm pretty far in the lead on this thing. I'm pretty sure I got it in the bag. I want to get this podcast recording kit. My wife and I had toyed around with starting our own little kind of, because we have a very interesting family dynamic, especially with this little one here. We were going to do a husband and wife podcast, and we even had a name. We did a couple recordings. It was called How the Family Fits, and the play was How the Family Fits Together and all these things, and how we make it all work with her being a cheer and gymnastics coach, and Larkin doing gymnastics and all these things, and me and my running. So Jason was like, yeah, dude, we should 100% do this. And
it started with four of us just sitting around talking trash to each other mainly, and just talking
Sounds
about
like us.
talking about like chapstick stories, right? And and of course, I was always the butt of the show because of my high success rate at the Yeti 100. We did that for a while, and Will ended up stepping away from the show just because he just was ready to move on from it, and then it just became Garrett and John and myself, and we continued just mainly talking about our running and what we were doing, and kind of some challenges we had. And stuff like that. And then we decided to dabble into the interviewing thing, which is, I'd obviously had a lot of experience with that from my previous show, and had a lot of contacts still from the previous show that I was able to call up and say, hey, you remember when you did my show 2 years ago? Do you mind coming on the new show? And thank God that I had such nice people that were receptive and willing to come on and stuff. And so that's kind of where we are now. We do a whole lot of interviews, a lot of trail runners, actually from all over the place. We were doing a lot of local type folks. Now we've actually had a nutritionist on from California who is coached and, has a lot of really cool contacts out west. It's just been a really cool experience so far. So yeah.
And then Larkin is we have two mascots. We have John's dog, Clementine, who is a mascot, and Larkin she's our other mascot. She always likes to come in and say goodnight before she goes to bed. So you want to say goodnight?
Good night.
Good night, Larkin.
All right. Bedtime is my time to shine.
I was going to say, man, it's late, but you guys are Central Time Zone, so that makes sense. Yep. Good night, Larkin.
All right. Okay. Yeah, my wife and I have very different times of the day and whiskey comes back. So,
yep.
My wife is very patient in the mornings, and I am not, and she is not patient right now, as she just opened the door and went like this. Yeah. Which is when I have all my patience. So bedtime is my time to shine. So
man. All right. I won't keep you too long so you can take your girl
you're
to
fine.
bed.
You're fine.
But
She's
I want to ask another question about the podcast. One thing I told Erica when we started ours, and we're trying to find our way, I was like, we need to find our identity. Tell me about the early days about the podcast and how you found your identity.
So, and that's a good question because that's something we kick around a whole lot because, I think we basically have our identity. I think, the interviews are really the way to go. One thing, I really like about y'all show is how you guys kind of incorporate some of your personal stuff in and around the interviews. Because we've actually gotten some feedback from some folks that say, hey, we miss hearing about you guys and what you're doing because we are more normal, which means we're slow and can't run fast. And, and so people can relate to us. Like I was literally running a trail race last week and one of our listeners was there and he said, I really miss the old shows where you guys just talked about things that y'all were doing because it's so relatable to how my running is going and some of the things that you guys struggle with, I struggle with because he has a family with a kid and stuff. And so it's like, and I think those things are things that we're still trying to work on and figure out. And I didn't really realize the light bulb went off when I was really listening in on y'all's show, because believe it or not, I don't listen to a ton of podcasts because I like music too much. So I'm like listening to Tool and Rage Against the Machine and NWA and stuff like that on my way to work because I got to get ready. Ready to go. So anyway, but one thing I noticed about y'all is that you guys do so well, and I want to compliment you on, is how you guys manage to really key in on things that's going on with you guys, and you segue into your interview as well. And it's kind of a nice little conglomeration of both things. And I think it's very well done. And I think it's something.
Thank you.
I think that's something that I was going to bounce off of Garrett. I'm literally bouncing off of him in real time. That I think we should do something similar to that to kind of bring back the old guard, but not get away from the new identity that we've taken on. Because most people prefer listening to the more elite type folks or experts, so to speak, like the nutritionists. And, we got a physical therapist come in on the show. People like that. People like to hear that stuff as well. So it's like, but you guys knock it out of the park with being able to do both with one thing. It's phenomenal. So big shout out to that.
You guys
I really
can have
appreciate
the best
that.
of both worlds.
Yeah, I want to say this. One thing everyone seems to relate to, and yeah, sure. When we had Bex Gentry on, that blew up. It helps, right? And it's cool. You have a run influencer, or you have a Peloton instructor. You have someone like Aaron Azar. But then at the same time, we get somebody like us, and like you. And the key word you said earlier was relatable. When you get people that are relatable for your guests, they don't have to have 5,000 followers or 500,000. It's just good stories, good people, good entertainment. And yeah, I like to share personal stories from home, and Erica does too. And I think it's all good. You just, you figure it out, you manage it, you create a Google Doc, you throw things in when you think of it, and you decide if you want to talk about it when you actually get to talking about it. And if you don't, you save it in the Google Doc for later, for another time. It's the relatability, guys, and I love it. And I was listening to, when I met you, Garrett, and I listened to the first couple, I think I listened to 3, and I go, here's my honest take. I listened to 3 of them. The best one was when you had somebody else on, and they were a normal, regular kind of person, relatable. And I thought it was great. And yeah, you got to find the right blend. You talk about yourself as much as you want, or talk about others. I think the relatability was the word we're going with here. Relatability. People love it. They appreciate it. I don't know if it's the key to success, but it's what works for all of us. And I love that you guys you're grinding, you're doing it just like us, man. We're all on the same page here. We're on the same boat.
Yeah. We're in this weird stage where the growth is there and we're seeing it, because of the interviews that we're doing, but we're also not trying to lose much, if any, of who we started out as. And that's a very fine line to walk because, and we talk about it offline, Jason, John, and I, where we want to do race recaps from the local races that we do, but that alienates our Arizona listeners or our Washington listeners or all these people who are like, what's stump jump or what's the zoo or any other local 5K or anything that
Strolling
we make
Jim.
over. Yes. Well, Strolling Jim's probably a bad example because if you're an ultra runner, if you're a fast ultra runner, you've heard of Strolling Jim because of the cash prize that grows every year that the record doesn't get broken.
Wow.
Yeah. So when Zach Beeman won, he got a nice, healthy paycheck. It was like 20 years worth of
That is cool.
of growth in that.
I'm still never going to get that, but
That's
it's
all
cool
right.
that they
No.
do that.
But you're going to go and
will
run
any
it
of
with
us.
Jason.
With Garrett.
I'll run with both of you. Let's go.
But yeah, so it's this weird kind of stage that we're in, and we're still trying to navigate it and figure it out. And like Jason said, what you guys do where you take your first 10 minutes or so and kind of give an update on where you are before you jump in. And Eric, the segue that however you make it work is phenomenal. So
He's a master, let me tell you.
yeah, because it's just
I
so
have fun.
it's just so
That's
smooth. It's almost like you're doing your whole little thing with the person sitting right there, and you're like, oh, hey, by the way, this person's right here. Like,
Check them out.
so it's seamless and it's just so smooth.
It
So-
is. It is. It's
Well,
it's very good.
Well, I really appreciate that, but this podcast here, we're for you, and we want to hear more about you. So I really do appreciate that. Thank you so much. This is a passion project. I have so much fun. But if you want to hear about our podcast, go check out their podcast because I'm sure before this one drops, ours dropped on yours, and it was good. It was a lot of fun. We had a blast on yours too. So it's a fun little, the running community is this awesome big community, right? And you don't have to be just a trail runner or a road runner. It's just the entire community is awesome. The podcast community is a little smaller, right? Podcasts are blowing up. They're getting big more and more and more every year. But there's a lot of people start a podcast, right? And the trick is getting to episode 17 because everyone can start a podcast. But what are you going to talk about in episode 17? And that's just need to know what you're going to do. You got to have a path. You got to have an identity. You got to keep rolling with momentum. And you guys are doing it because you're at like 70 something.
You guys, when your episode was 72 for us.
Yes.
Very cool.
So that's awesome. That's awesome. You're at 70. You're well past 17. You guys got it. You guys got it going on. I'm proud of you. The Trail Trash podcast. I love it. I think though, you need to like have a little nickname and you call it Trail TP. You got to get your mascot with toilet paper. Trail TP.
There you go.
Ironically,
you know what? We should co-brand something. You know,
Yes, please.
your biodegradable wipes. We'll make them skeleton shaped. And
I love that logo, by the way. So when I met you, you didn't really have a logo.
We did
Tell me
not.
about how you created that brand and that logo because it looked like you went from one thing to the other within like 3 weeks. Tell me about the skeleton, and we need to find a nickname for him.
I think someone gave him one. Jason, what did we did a poll on it and I can't remember what it was. But yeah, he's saved somewhere on my computer as his nickname, and I don't. But so it was very much when we started to realize that the logo we had wasn't marketable, we needed something that was a little bit more that you could put on a sticker, basically, for lack of a better way to put it. And so I made this one on Canva, and I was like, you know what? I don't love it, but
Isn't Canva awesome?
It is, but I'm not good at Canva. So at the company that I work for, our social media guy, his brother is in school to be a graphic designer. And so he's like, hey, he does really great work. Here's his phone number. So I got in touch with him and I said, hey, here's what we're looking for. And he goes, great. What are some logos that you like? I sent him some. And then a week later, we had our guy. And he sent us 4 different ones that were a little shaped. The colors moved in different directions and some other things. And we were like, nope, this is the one. Yeah. Yep.
I love it.
So I don't remember, but I can't remember what we named him. But
Going
on
with
that
bones.
one, so yeah,
I like bones. Have like maybe a broken bone wrapped up in TP as a cast.
that would
That
work.
is pretty much an ultra runner.
But like the
always
rest of the
injured, right?
TP's kind of flowing in the
Flowing
back
behind him.
because he's running. I don't know. I'm just thinking out loud here. But no, I think this is great. I think it's awesome.
Yeah.
Great job on this logo, guys. Really great job.
Yeah, well, thank you. So I will send you some stickers for it. So because I've got a bunch of stickers
We'll
left.
trade you.
There you go. There you go.
Did
We'll
you
send you
guys
some
tell-
Stooley stickers.
Did you guys tell us how you came up with the name Trail Trash Podcast?
It was very much I spit it out because we're trashy and we like to run trails.
Fair
And,
enough.
Yeah.
Our group chat is called Trail Trash Hobos.
That's
Love
better
it.
than
We-
ours.
we have-
Ours are boring.
we have two.
Because Erica will know this because she can relate to this. At this past year's Yeti 100, did you get harassed by the hobos under the bridge?
I did not actually.
Yeah.
Oh, you
so
got
there
lucky.
there were some hobos apparently harassing runners right as you left Damascus around that bridge area.
Right
And
by
there was
the
actually-
Pepsi machine? Like right around
no,
there?
No. This was going up White Top. So this was going the opposite direction. And they actually had race officials there telling you, be careful, there's homeless people harassing runners. And then there was an internal joke that John saw some hobo like at mile like 50 something going up the mountain, and so yeah, I just like named the group Trail Trash Hobos.
So it was literally just that little bridge that you pass under, like when you're really like heading right out of Damascus. Is that
it was
the one?
right after it? It was right after it. There was like this wooden bridge, and there was apparently an encampment. You could actually see it if you looked real closely. There was they had like full on tents set up because homeless people can afford nice tents, and so they had some really nice like tents, and they were set up there, and apparently they were yelling at the runners, and so yeah.
I'm glad I missed them. They probably would have made me cry or something. I don't even know, but at that point in the race, I think I was with somebody, so at least I wasn't alone. But
that's
yeah,
probably why you weren't messed with.
Makes sense. All right, good.
Well, perfect segue to go from Yeti hobos to 0 for 4 in the Yeti.
I have to hear about this. Yes.
Confirm for me, this is the same Yeti that Erica completed last September or October, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I can give you the
And I
cliff
need to know
notes.
why I did and you didn't. Like it doesn't.
I can give you the cliff notes very, very good. Year 1, I lost my mind and quit at mile 80. That was my best year to finish.
Oh no!
I just
So
gave
close.
up.
Great picture. There's a great picture.
I literally just gave up. I had 8 hours to go 20 miles, and I quit. That was how far ahead I was of the cutoff. Year 2 was what was year 2? Year 2
was that the year European blood?
That was a hurricane year. Yep. That was a year that the tropical storm set over the top of Damascus. I ran through 12 hours of a tropical storm. Obviously, in the rain, you don't hydrate very well because you don't get hot. And I started peeing blood at mile 70 something and just like dropped. That was the year. That was the COVID year. So it was weird. You didn't run the full course.
Oh.
So that was year 2. Year 3.
Dude, you and these Johnson injuries, man. What's going on down there?
I've got more dick problems you can shake a stick
Dude,
at.
that's kidneys. That's
No,
kidneys.
No, you just missed it. You got more dick problems you can shake a dick at. Come on.
And so year 3,
you guys will like Neil Murphy.
So year 3, I overcompensated and drank too much electrolytes and started throwing up like crazy after mile 50 and ended up just dropping because I just couldn't do it. I didn't have anybody that could stay with me, and I was so weak that I got off course. Literally got off course and had to find my way back, and then nearly walked off the side of one of like the bridges because I was like so disoriented from where I'd gotten sick so much. That was year 3. And then last year, somehow, some way, I overtrained and didn't realize I'd overtrained. And at about it was before the 50K point, my foot started bothering me. And then by mile between 50 and 60, I could barely walk. And I was doing like a 25, 26-minute mile. And I basically walked into the aid station right before White Top, right at the cutoff time, and just threw it in, because I knew that even though that was a no cutoff aid station, I would have never made the cutoff back down to the other one. So yeah, the funny thing about it, the best story about all of this is not the race, is this house that we stay in, and we call it the Annabelle house because it's got this creepy ass basement with this Raggedy Ann doll. And every year we stayed in this house, my friend Will would do some crazy shit with the doll. So 1 year I got up to pee. Well, first off, they all got shit-faced drunk the first year in the house. And they told me to go to bed and get rest. And they sat out on the porch screaming and yelling. And I went out there and told them to shut up. And they looked at me and laughed. Then the second year in that same house, I got up to go to the bathroom. I came back, and Will had taken the Annabelle doll and had propped it up on the bed holding a butcher knife in its hand. And then
got some awesome friends.
And then that same year, John took the Annabelle doll and posted it up all over the fireplace like some sort of sacrificial like thing with its arms and appendages out hung up. And so, yeah, that's the memories from the race.
I feel
Failure.
Like you got to give it another go. You got to at some point. Someday.
So here's the reason why, and I want to get to this. So the reason why the house is empty is because my wife cashed in 5 years of racing to go on a 2-week trip with her friend to Bali.
Whoa.
Yeah. So guess who's in Bali and guess who's not?
Hey,
so guess who ain't racing anymore?
It's
yeah.
Anymore?
I'm not for a while, because like this it really hit me hard, like how much money I'd spent on these races, when she was like, yeah, I'm going to go to Bali. And then she started like, and what's crazy is she came out cheaper.
No way.
Yes, than how much money I'd spent on these races. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, how much money have I blown on these races? And I could be on a freaking beach in Bali with my wife right now. And not that I was invited, but I'm just saying, for relative purposes, right? So yeah. So no, I'm taking some time off from doing it. I think I have attempted to run a 100-mile race the last 4 to 5 years, and I'm going to do small stuff local, like maybe strolling gym, maybe I'm running Yamakron in a few weeks, the 20K, stuff that I can get in a car, drive to, not break the bank, and come home.
Yeah,
because the Yeti is a minimum $1,000, pretty much. If you
just for the race registration?
No.
Or are you saying like with the Airbnb and
It's
everything?
like $350, $400 for the registration itself.
Yeah, not even half the cost of an Ironman then.
But so in my instance, I was bringing the crew with me. So I was getting a house for the crew, because if I'm asking these people to take off work and to travel with me, so I was dropping $700-800 on an Airbnb, plus the $300-400 for the entry, not to mention gas and food. I mean, I was out $1,500 every single entry for this race. This last one was the cheapest one I've ever ran, and that's because 3 people were running.
The Annabelle house was taken.
Yeah, Annabelle house was taken. It made us very sad. So yeah, I'm definitely taking some time off, so maybe I can get to go to Bali. So
when you say this basement, it doesn't have like the floor that opens kind of like a.
It's
or
okay,
is it like
so
is this the place you got, Erica?
I don't know. I am staying with a bunch of friends who I met there, and they have a house with a very creepy basement, and they said I had to behave or else I had to sleep down there.
Where's it at? I'm curious. Is it in the city? Is it in Abington?
It's in Abington, yeah. I think it's
Is
maybe
it
like a
close?
half mile from the trailhead.
I guarantee you that's the house. Is it white?
Oh, I feel like it is. Hold on, I can totally look this up. But
Oh,
keep
shit.
keep talking.
Oh gosh, this is hilarious. So John slept in that basement. True story. John slept in the basement. Yeah, he slept on the couch in the basement, in that creepy ass freaking basement, because it's like dank and it's got some weird room with like a bunch of games and toys in it.
This is awesome.
There is no way in hell they're getting me to go down there.
I mean,
I want content.
Would
Yeah.
you
Go down
know
there
the name
Blair
of
Witch
it?
Project style.
Oh wait, it doesn't look red. This is
no, it's white. It's white.
This one is red. Hold on. Well, there's
That's
a
not
White
it.
House
No,
in the
that's
back.
not it.
No,
That's not it.
Damn it.
okay,
This-
but it still has a really
Bow, bow,
freaking
bow.
creepy basement. Like, what the hell is wrong with it?
Maybe
When
it's
you
just
guys
the
talk
area.
about
Maybe
creepy
they all.
basements that lift like this, I just think about that one horror movie. Oh gosh, now I can never remember it. And one of my old friends is going to be very disappointed because we watched it all the time. They basically lock her in there, and she like keeps trying to get out. And it's like Dawn. Is it Dawn of the Dead?
I am not a horror movie person. That's why I'm like, please let there not be Annabelle doll in this goddamn house. I'll lose my shit.
I mean, let me tell you that house was 5 minutes from the start line. It was like in almost downtown Abington, and it was a great house, and we would love to get it every year we were there because we liked it so much.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's central to everything, even to food downtown. There's a great coffee shop in Abington. Abington's a very quaint town.
It was so cute. I really enjoyed it there.
Mm-hmm.
We were staying like kind of on the opposite end by like the highway, and there was like a Walmart like 2 seconds down the road. Like we were way far on that side, but I would have loved to stay like closer. But yeah.
Well, let me tell you this. That basement and everything, it sounds like someone could have a code brown there, and we try to find ways to avoid code browns, and we call them the code brown commandments.
Excellent segue, my friend.
We have this list we're generating for the year of these commandments in a way to, like I said, avoid a code brown. So mine is diaper rash cream cures chafing overnight. We have some other examples like don't trust a fart. Thou shalt leave no trace. Always be prepared. We have a lot. So I would like the two of you to add something to our Code Brown commandments list. Give us some advice, like maybe don't put chapstick all over your Johnson because it's not going to work.
Start wearing underwear.
Wear underwear when you race.
Look, if the first line in your Code Brown commandments is not from America's favorite ultra runner, Forrest Gump, saying, where the guy comes up and says, "Whoa, you just stepped in a big dial of dog shit." It happens. What does shit? Sometimes.
That's
got to be like the first thing. Like, yeah, shit happens sometimes. So, because it does. Everyone's done. If you have run long enough or trained for any sort of endurance event, you've had to find a bathroom somewhere behind a tree, or maybe even somewhere a little more open than that. So I'm sure it's happened. So
absolutely,
my thing would be just fully understand that at some point it happens.
Shit
Thou
happens,
shalt understand.
Embrace it.
Thou shalt understand that shit happens.
And then you can make a bumper sticker because that guy, according to the movie, made a lot of money off that bumper sticker.
What about you, Jason? What advice could you give us? I think you have quite a bit of material you could use here. How can we avoid some of the pain and torment you've been through?
Basically, the old saying, don't try anything that you haven't used prior to. That's it. I can't give you
classic
anything.
Nothing new on race day. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, those North Face tights, I mean, just to be transparent, I don't know how much I lost off of it, but I definitely lost something. So, I mean, I would
Not worth it.
You weren't circumcised before, but you are now.
preach facts. So yeah, that is it. That is it. Shoes, tights, lubrication products, all of the above. Don't try anything that you haven't used before. So that's it.
Well done. And I have one final question for you too also. So we have ourselves a Spotify playlist and we like to invite our wonderful guests to add a song to it. So what would you guys choose? You each get one. So feel free to let me know what you want.
Man, so that's a really tough question for me because my music is all over the place. So what I'm going to do...
So is this playlist. So whatever you pick will fit right in.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to scroll down to the last song that I added to my 275 song playlist.
Okay.
And I love reggae music.
Nice.
If you had known me in high school, you would have been like, Garrett's the biggest pothead in this entire school. Never smoked a joint until Mom and Dad shouldn't be listening to this, so it'll be okay. Never smoked a joint until we went to Jamaica.
Well, there you go. It's a perfect place to try it out.
Well, and there's a great picture in our group chat where I'm just like there is yeah. So it's got a reggae vibe to it. It's by a group called the Transplants, which is Travis Barker is the drummer in that. It's a couple punk rock guys that started this band called the Transplants, and they have a guest on there, and they're called the Booyah Tribe. The song is called What I Can't Describe.
Perfect.
So that's the last one I added. It's got a bit of it's a little bit of a mellow tune, but
I have a feeling this would fit on my personal. I have a summertime playlist that just gives off those kind of vibes, and that feels like it's going to fit in.
Maybe until you listen to the lyrics.
Well, lyrics aren't as important.
Yeah, I mean, the vibe is kind of there, but then he talks about some things, and you're just like, that doesn't really quite match the vibe.
Well, and now I am intrigued, so I'll listen to it anyway.
Well, and so you went like this with Travis Barker. So
I was a big Blink-182 fan when I was growing up in high school.
Okay.
Yeah.
So one of the other songs they sing is called "Tall Cans in the Air," and in the chorus, all it says is tall cans in the air. Let me see a fuck you. So,
okay.
So maybe Blink-182-esque. This one is much more mellow, but just to give you an idea of what you might be getting yourself into if you listen to the Transplants.
We still love it. Excellent. All right,
when
Jason,
you first said reggae music, you had me thinking of the Reggae Shark song. You ever heard the Reggae Shark?
No, but I will soon.
Gotta check out some Reggae Shark. Yeah, there's Reggae Shark, and then there's Reggae Shark Part 2 and Part 3. It's funny, dude. It's funny.
I mean, I listen, I've read multiple books on Bob Marley. I would move to Jamaica if my wife would let me. We go every 2 years. Yes, I love everything about the culture down there. I love, like I said, and it's not just old school. I don't just listen to Bob. I listen to all of it, the new stuff, the old stuff. I don't really get into the reggaeton much. But yeah, reggae is, my Spotify Wrapped is 90% reggae every year.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to rely on Jason to bring it back for me a little bit here. Get me running because I'm
feeling we're going to get some
tool.
rage.
I need rage against the machine. I could use some corn, some Limp Bizkit. Get me freaking going. Get me pumped up. Since you get pumped up on your car ride to work, Jason, pump me up because I'll be honest, I'll probably do it to you too, Garrett, but I sometimes message Erica while I'm running and listening to our playlist and be like, who picked this stupid song? But I don't think I'm going to say that for Jason because Jason and I think, vibe on the same level here of music.
So I'm actually not going to go with my metal style music. I am going to go with some old school Cash Money Millionaires, baller blocking, old school song, straight Master P. Just because I love the Cash Money Millionaires. I do have, you can't see it, but I have a Wu-Tang tattoo right here, and then I have a tool tattoo
Yeah.
underneath here. I have a Rage Against the Machine on my back of my arm. Those are too
Your
easy
sleeves
for
are
me.
awesome, by the way.
And you got a Yeti tattoo.
I do have a Yeti tattoo. So, but yeah,
Yep.
Cash Money Millionaires. I love them too much. They're part of my. I listen to them probably 2 or 3 times a week, just because I like that old New Orleans style rap.
Excellent.
Cool.
Well, we
cool.
do not have either of those songs, so those are uniquely yours, and we're going to welcome them with open arms on the playlist.
All right, guys, here we go. Chance to pump the tires for your own page, for your podcast. Tell everybody what they should do, where they can find you, where they should go and listen to the pod.
All right. So I am on Instagram. I'm Garrett the Runner, which used to not be that way. But then I was like, you know what? If we're going to really embrace this thing, I need to dive on in and kind of niche myself a little bit. So Garrett the Runner, spelled just the way it sounds, 2 R's, 2 T's though. So the podcast is there. It's just Trail Trash Podcast. If you message it, you'll be talking to John. He runs our Instagram for us. We do have an email that we really use just for invitations. So don't email us. It won't get read. Or you'll be like me and you'll mean to send an email with a link to a guest that never gets sent and you don't get the interview.
Pain.
Oh, no.
So,
Pain.
Yeah.
Pain.
Yeah, drop the ball on that one. That would have been a big get too. We'll talk about that one offline. That would have been a big get. So, yeah. But yeah, so Garrett the Runner, Trail Trash Podcast on Instagram, both those there on Instagram. We are on Facebook. I run our Facebook. We each kind of have different things that we run. So Jason runs our YouTube channel. I don't do anything with YouTube. I don't even watch it. Like I watch our channel so it gets the count, but I don't even do anything else.
You need those numbers. Yep.
Yeah, I'll let him talk about the YouTube.
Can't believe you didn't send the link to Courtney Dewalter, man. Come on.
If you tell me it's her, I'm gonna cry for you.
It's almost as big.
It was not her. Yeah.
It was almost as big. It was Corinne Malcolm.
You'll get it. You'll get it back, man. You'll get it back.
Man, we had a great topic too. She just did I messaged her because she had this article that she did about cold weather running and when it's too cold to actually go run. And I was like, hey, I would love to have you on our show and talk about how we can acclimate ourselves to other, it'll be like a summertime show. Like, how can we get ready for states if we're not in states? How can we get ready for different climates? She's like, yeah, I'd love to talk about it. So sent her an email. We had a couple emails back and forth. We nailed down a date. I said, great, I'll send you a link tomorrow. I just never sent the link.
Oh,
and we were supposed to talk.
You got to reschedule.
Yeah.
We need that.
We were supposed to talk to her on the 24th. So I even logged on. As like, oh, I think we talked to someone today. Oh, I never sent the link.
Just tell her you just got to tell her you had runaway diarrhea and you couldn't get to the computer. So
perfect excuse. Nobody will question it.
Nope.
Yeah. Just use Jason's story about chafe gone bad.
Here's my little tip.
Nobody will question
chafe.
it.
Yeah.
Here's my little tip.
Gone wild.
If you ever want to get out of work, all you have to do is be seen with Mapco sushi. You don't have to eat it. You just have to be seen with it. Because then you can email and say, hey, I'm not feeling so good. I think that sushi was bad. I'm not going to be into work today. No one's going to say anything. Like, yeah, dumbass, you ate Mapco sushi. Of course you're sick.
Is that gas station sushi?
Yes.
It is.
Okay.
Yeah. So you don't have to eat it. You just got to be seen with it.
So maybe I'll just tell her Wawa and get some Wawa sushi.
Who's the Wawas?
Yeah.
Or go to your local Come and Go.
Yes. They're not called Come and Goes anymore, though. They had to change the name.
Did they get canceled?
I don't know what it was. I think there was a lawsuit somewhere because someone had something similar, and I think they had to change it. Like, I remember seeing an article that's like Come and Go is no longer Come and Go anymore, or something like that. It was
Come and Go came and went.
Yeah, I think it may have been Come and Go as came and went.
I was just trying to be funny.
Yeah, something along those lines, or maybe that was one of the lines in the article. I was like, man, they should name it Coming 24/7. No. No.
Yep.
I am an Inked Up Runner, obviously. That was my old YouTube channel. That's how you can find me on on Instagram. Ironically, when I set all this up, I surely thought that somebody would have had that, and not a single person has ever used Inked Up Runner in anything. So I got the YouTube channel, I got the email, and I got the Instagram. But the Instagram is where you can find me. The Trail Trash Podcast is the YouTube channel that we just recently got going. So still trying to get that kind of sorted out. And then if anybody ever wants to watch any of my old stuff, I do have an old YouTube channel that's just sitting there dormant from when I did interviews eons ago. So that's it.
Well, you guys are awesome. You're in the same boat as us, growing the pod, growing the YouTube channel, expanding, doing all the right things. Keep it up. This was fun. I'm glad we connected, Garrett, and we got this together. We got it to work. It was a long night. It is now... Yes, it's been a long night. We've been over 3 hours total, but it was a lot of fun. What I love about this community is meeting these people, meeting you guys, meeting everybody. It's super cool, a lot of fun. I'm glad we did it. I'm glad we got them both done tonight too. Yep. I really am happy about that.
We've talked so long. I feel like you guys are on the Christmas card list now.
You are on our
Christmas.
Yeah. Well, all right, guys. I hope everyone enjoyed that. Go check out the Trail Trash Podcast, or as we're going to call it going forward, Trail TP. Garrett and Jason, thank you so much for coming on the pod. That was a lot of fun. You guys rock. Keep doing it. Keep at it.
Heck yeah, it was awesome. Thanks for having us.
Garrett, Jason, thank you so much for coming on our podcast after having us on yours. It was a blast. We had so much fun. And I'm glad you guys you totally delivered on all the good stories.
Yeah, yeah, Jason especially. Sorry, Garrett, but Jason won the story battle there. If there was a battle of any at all.
I mean, how do you choose? But
how do you go from being circumcised to uncircumcised in an ultramarathon? Has it ever happened? I don't know. Well, now it has. It's a first.
Oh my God, I was rolling.
Man, Garrett has that radio voice. He really does.
Just like you. You've got a voice for the podcast. What? Yeah.
Really?
I mean, I would not be doing this if it wasn't for you carrying the whole thing. So
I have the voice, but maybe not the pronunciations.
That's the best part. That's what keeps them coming back.
You, Tara, and Lindsay have been just having so much fun with me the last couple of weeks.
They started it. I just keep going.
Good for you. Keep going. You should.
Well, you give me shit all the time.
Offering your spare bedroom. It's like, I'm not going to stop. What was the word I messed up?
Like Charmin.
A lot of things I mess up, but like I do voice to text and AI thinks it's something different. What was the one that happened the other day?
Well, you did say when you were talking about your Pac-Man thing, you're like, I'm going to go run Corsage next. Like, wait a second. Corsage. Clearly meaning Kearsarge, but who the hell? AI is not going to know that.
Yeah.
But yeah, we are forever just coining oatmeal as a term, spelt however you like it.
Yep.
And
so if anyone wants to go and run up Corsage with me, you can say that word right. I'm going up on Sunday morning, I think. Sunday early. I had to go early this week, like it's the early thing. That one's going to be hard, but that's going to be a real good prep because that's 3.5 miles.
Gotcha.
Just as steep and as difficult as Pac-Man, if not more.
See, I'm looking at all of the, like, where these mountains are, and they're not close to me at all. Like, Pac-Man was an hour. Where is Kearsarge?
It's 45 minutes north of me. So add 50. It's an hour.
Yeah, it's another hour in that direction.
But you're coming to Mount Washington, right?
We'll see.
You've never come to one of my races.
No,
I go to all yours.
Well, how am I going to work it out, dude?
I don't know.
Am I just going to wait at your camper?
You can hang out with Erin. No, you can hang out with Erin.
Oh, because she's not running. She's just hanging out. So you and Mike are going to run this thing? And then, actually, that's not a bad idea.
All right. You're welcome to come and join. I think a few other people might be at my campsite, too. And they're all really cool people. So we'll talk on that later. So someone from our pod fam, Letty. You all know Letty. She has the podcast, the Marathon Running Podcast. She had on someone from another one of our pod fan members, Jared, on her podcast. It dropped today, yesterday, if you're listening now. And Jared was on Letty's podcast. How cool is that? We kind of like made that happen, or let's be honest, Jared made it happen, but we had Jared on,
Yeah.
and then we had Letty, and
And then
Jared
they made they made the
Yeah.
connection in Boston, right? Like he
Yes.
saw her around, and just I love that happened. It fills my heart with warmth just knowing
Yes.
that all the pod fans out there making friends, and
It was
that's
so
what I
cool.
wanted all along.
So we love Letty, want to pump the tires for her pod. Her pod's doing amazing, much better than ours. Been around it was just her 4th anniversary, but 5th year or vice versa.
Wow.
It was a blooper she had. It was really funny. So if you listen, you'll hear the blooper. The other thing I wanted to mention was, this is kind of a sad thing, but back to, I told you I went to the Red Sox game.
Mm-hmm.
No longer do ticket stubs exist. It's all on your phone,
yeah.
right? And I took Adeline, and you know what I thought? It's a bummer she doesn't have a ticket stub to like save and hold on to, because at my parents' house where I just was, there's like an arts and crafts book or like a scrapbook of all the tickets to all the Bruins and the Red Sox games I went to as a kid back in like 1996. 95.
Yeah, I saved all my like concert tickets.
You can't
and I
do
even
that
had
anymore.
Movie stubs. I know that
like, what are you
going
to do? Take a screenshot of the ticket on your phone? So I just wanted to say I had that as a note here.
Yeah,
tickets. So if we ever have a live on the run show,
we'll do paper printouts. You can print your ticket.
I want to do it because we're going to have a live show one day. One day we're going to have a live show. I want it to be paper tickets. I want like ticket stubs. Like you got to get the ticket stub ripped off, right?
So on the topic of Jared, I was on our Facebook page, and I know we don't usually typically
nice transition for my terrible ticket talk. Good job.
Well, we don't typically use Facebook anymore.
What's Facebook?
See, exactly. So I saw that Jared's mom, Wendy, wrote us a nice little recommendation. And it says,
whoa.
She recommends On the Runs. The real stories of the marathon runners are impressive. I love that you pick popular runners and the average everyday Joes, just people from all walks of life, healthy, disabled, any affliction a person has, and how inspiring it is to hear and share in their victories. I'm not a runner, but her son Jared is. She's listened to the podcast ever since he did his, and she takes something away from each one. Everyone you have on your podcast inspires her to want to do better and be better as a person. Thank you for what you do. Plus, your podcast makes me laugh. So she does have a few stories about the runs of her own. So Wendy, thank you so much for listening. We just love your son Jared. He's amazing. He's an awesome person. So we know where he gets it from now. So thank you for being a fan.
Now, Wendy, first off, yes, we have average runners, but Jared is not an average runner.
He is amazing. Yep. He's probably
with
our
or
most
without
inspiring
his leg.
one out
He
there.
is a freaking amazing runner. He's doing over like 15 marathons this year. Let me ask, where
crazy,
did you find this?
In a good
it's
way.
on Facebook, or
It
was
is
it
on the Facebook page. I'll see
our
if I can
OTR page, or like, okay.
Yeah. So let me see if I can find it, but feel free to
Well, that's a good
transition
time
while
for me
I'm
to bring
looking.
up, guys. Like, if
Mhm.
you want, guys, if you have Apple Podcast or if you have Spotify, go and give us 5 stars, write a nice review. If you think we're awful, just do nothing at all. But,
Right.
yeah, everyone, we don't ask for it a lot. What all the other podcasts ask for it every day in the intro and the outro and all that. But no, if you do, since we're talking about Wendy, go out there and throw out a nice review or recommend us to someone who you think will really enjoy us. Follow on Instagram, subscribe to the YouTube channel. I am dropping the Tros and the interviews separately, typically the day after it comes out, 6 p.m. on Wednesday. And we should talk about it, our TikTok channel, because we have a hired person now running our TikTok. Not really
Can
hired,
you really call her a hired person if we
Yes.
don't pay her?
Yes, absolutely. I wrote
She's
a
got
job
an
description.
Unpaid internship. I don't know, but
Our
yeah, we love
number
it.
3, can we say who it is? Do you think she's okay with us saying this?
I don't know. You take that up with insert name here.
So when I was stuck at the Tampa Bay airport for like 8 hours, I came up with a fun job description. I, at that point, logged on to our TikTok, and I'm like, let me upload some videos here. And the one person I always see on TikTok, besides Jared, is Pterodactyl. So before even asking her if she wants to be our like On the Runs TikTok admin, I wrote up a pretty fun and creative job description, wouldn't you say?
I think so. And before we get too far, let me just, I have to tell you this or else I'll forget. But the other day we were out at Spyglass. I had invited you guys, but we went with a bunch of people that Brandon works with. And he was saying, his name is Sean, he said he came across me on TikTok. And I was like, oh, you must have found the On the Runs page because I don't have my own TikTok. So he was definitely looking and it was from On the Run. So I cracked up because he was telling Brandon, like, hey, your girlfriend's on TikTok. I was like, what? Why? But it's because of this. So,
all right.
not
This
only
is
feet.
how this went down on May 10th. I said, Tara is always like, I can't wait to be on payroll, right? So I said to her, hey, do you want an official job for the podcast? She just gives it a 100 reaction. I go, it pays nothing, but you get to make your own schedule. Job description, TikTok account manager. Job duties, manage OTR TikTok account. Download photos and videos that OTR admins, me, sends you, and post photos, create captions, proper hashtags and mention, cover photo, text, and other necessary needs for TikTok posts. Post your own personal stories of running on TikTok stories for OTR. That can be just about her. She can be like, hey guys, it's me, Tara Pterodactyl. I'm at the 5K. That's up to her, right?
Yeah.
We also have, I broke down post-episode teasers and episode drop posts. So the typical what you see on Instagram. I did not know until this day you can post a photo on TikTok. I thought it was just videos. And
that's all shit that I don't know about. So
right. I didn't know. Like, I think you can
figured
post
it
a
out.
photo now.
Yeah.
Or you post a photo as a video and it just ticks off time, maybe. But I want her to like post the episode like 110 Trail Trash podcast post, right? So here's how it's going to work. And I say like grow the OTR TikTok page, be creative, benefits, PTO, none, pay, none, health insurance, none, annual bonus, none yet. Also, if she does want PTO, she needs to give me a 90-day notice and it needs to be approved. But
you're hilarious. I don't like what is what is drawing her to doing this?
I'm giving her full range of doing this however she wants. There's no pressure. I'm not checking on it to be like, yo, Tara, why didn't you post today? Where's the post? Even
if she does 2 posts, like that's 2 more
fine.
than we would have had.
She's done 3 already, though. She's beaten 2. But perfect. I'm just sending her the reels I make on Riverside. I put so much work into this and scheduling them on Instagram, and then I'm trying to do it on YouTube, too. I'm just like, hey, if I just send it to you, it's done. All you got to do is upload and post, and then you can delete it from your phone. Do you want to do it? And I said, do it 1-2 days a week. I don't know if you can schedule them. So she's like, I'll try. I'll see if I like it. And if she doesn't want to continue doing it, she doesn't have to continue doing it. She'll still be number 3 and on the payroll making $0 a year. And I'll even write her like a fake W-2 form or a 1099.
Oh, really?
Yeah, income 0.
You are blowing this up. I love it.
I have fun. Like, I'll make it on Canva. We've talked about Canva. I've had so much fun. I created your birthday gift on Canva.
Where's my job description? Like, what are my duties and responsibilities?
We're working on that. I mean, we talk about things, and have you done?
This is where he's
have you done your assignments? Have you done them?
I've been better this month. I have.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want me to like make a job description for you?
No,
I could do it.
No.
I'm gonna do it now just for fun. Show up to record on Mondays at 8 p.m.
Okay.
Recording hours limited to unlimited. So
I love it.
Time off must be requested.
Denied. Yeah.
Hey, I want to mention one thing to our listeners out there. I'm going to cancel cable. I'm canceling Xfinity.
I already have.
Don't want cable anymore. Do you have Xfinity for internet?
I do, but Xfinity for some reason didn't do cable to my house. Like I had DirecTV, and that sucked. So I got rid of it.
So I'm thinking about just getting rid of it at all and might jump on Fidium. So if anybody has Fidium internet, let me know. Tell me how it is.
Okay.
But the Bruins season is over. That's sad. I'm canceling cable. I pay $180 a month for cable and internet. Like Fidium, I think is going to be like $50. So that's $100 and whatever savings.
Much better. Yep. So I pay $40 a month for my new and improved internet speed. So
shit. Like I'm just totally none of us watch the TV, except me, Bruins games. So,
Yeah.
I mean, we all stream. That's all
Yeah.
we watch is streaming.
That's where everything's going now, anyways.
Totally canceling cable, guys. If you have Fidium, let me know how it is compared to Xfinity Internet. That's what I want to know. So there's not much else I have to talk about. Next week, we're going to have to figure it out because I'll be in Pennsylvania. We're going to have to figure out, I'm going to have to move our scheduled interview around. I got some work to do. But besides that, I don't know what's coming up. What's coming up? Anything with you exciting?
Just some running. I have to get out of lazy mode.
50 miles this weekend. That's right.
Yeah. I'm gonna.
Well, come run a little bit up the mountain with me.
No, you come to me. I got to do it every 4 hours.
I have to run up a mountain.
8.4 miles or 8.333333 miles every 4 hours for 24 hours.
When are you starting?
As soon as I get out of work on Friday.
So for everybody listening, if you want to do one of these laps with Erica, there'll be
reach out.
Is there going to be like a 2 a.m. lap?
Yeah, but that's going to be on my treadmill. I don't feel comfortable going outside.
If somebody were to join you, would you go outside?
It depends. Probably just do it from my house, though.
If somebody wants to run with Erica at 2 a.m, Saturday morning, she'll go outside with you. Meet at the rail trail or just run around or just run around her street. I almost said the name of it.
Thank you.
Don't need no creepos who listen to the pod coming to your house.
But I will have like a Saturday morning, like at a normal time one, I'm sure. I don't know when I'm getting out on Friday, so I don't know when I'll be able to start. So it's all going to fluctuate, but it'll be like, say, 5 p.m., 9 p.m., 1 a.m., 5 a.m., yada, yada, yada.
Awesome. Awesome.
If anybody feels like it, just hit me up.
Awesome. All right, well, I feel like, did we give Jason and Garrett enough love here after the pod? I think we just said thank you, but that was a lot of fun with you guys. Meeting Larson was super cool. We met her a few times. I think I cut out one thing, but it was really funny when his wife walked in the room, opened the door, and it's not even on the YouTube, but they're talking, and what we can't make out is she does this, like, you better hurry up, because I want to go to bed.
Yeah. See, that's the problem about doing this in a bedroom. Like, I have my spare bedroom, but like, I still have a hard cutoff at like 10 p.m. because Brandon can hear me through the walls.
And it is 9:58 p.m. right now, so it's our cutoff. We're there. So guys, please follow us on Instagram. Like we said earlier, give us that review, 5-star rating. Help us move up the ladder there. Because as I told our guests you're going to hear from in a few weeks, yes, we might be small, but we put out a big production and put a lot into it, just like some other podcast companies we're going to be like one day. So maybe not as big as them, but we're putting out quality like them. That's what I like to say.
Working on it. We're growing.
We're doing it. All right. I love this. Guys, thank you so much. Don't fear the Code Brown and Erica.
Oh God, I had a brain fart. It's Monday night. I gotta go to work tomorrow. I hope everybody had a wonderful Memorial Day weekend. Hope you were safe and happy and got some relaxation in. You guys know we love you.
Thank you to everyone who served. Thank you so much.
Yes.
We don't usually get political, but that's not really political.
No.
Just thank you to everyone who served. I saw over 30,000 little American flags planted in Boston yesterday. Like, it was kind of eye-opening to see how many that was. And that was just the people from Massachusetts who served and died while serving. So, yes, thank you to everyone. Hope you had a great Memorial Day weekend. And yeah, as I said in my post, doesn't go unnoticed and never forgotten.
And on that note, you know we love you. Don't forget to stretch.
3, 2, 1, yeah!
Nice.
Nice. And this is when people who just watch the Tros on YouTube see how we transition. This is how it goes. I don't know if you noticed that, but I've been trying to
I
post
haven't
these.
watched us on.
I know
on
you don't
YouTube.
watch. I know you don't.
I started to.
But I don't edit this
on-
out. I don't
what
edit
did I
this out
watch?
of it. So
I
what's
think
up?
I started to watch something on there. Maybe it was the flying pig thing.